So awesome of you guys to come sit here. Well, there's so many interesting things to see here at the campus. So this is why we're here. This is because today we can actually move stuff for the future, and we have, there's lots of things you can say about where the internet is today. In fact, you can say stuff like this. I guess people know the name Tim Berners-Lee, and this is from an interview he gave last year, where he said that basically we have demonstrated that the web has failed instead of served humanity. He called it a large-scale emergent phenomenon which is anti-human. I mean, for a positive guy like Tim Berners-Lee, that is, it saddens to have words like that, but it's kind of true. So this year we celebrate the 50th anniversary of going to the moon, the 50th anniversary of the ARPANET, and just as an interesting historical parallel, the guy on the right or the guy on the left, did he cause this breakage in the middle? So the one guy is the guy who made the US go to space, but he also designed the V1 and V2 rocket, Wernher von Braun. The other guy designed the atomic bomb that basically went on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And I really don't know which one is, actually I forgot who it was, and it doesn't really matter, because if you create technology, then for sure, yeah, it can go either way. But it is something that we have to really take care of. Now, this brings us to the Next Generation Internet Initiative, and I mean, that is going to the moon and then some. It's huge. If you compare going to the moon, 10,000 people for 10 years, it's nothing to what fixing the internet will mean, because it's the largest and the biggest thing that we've ever made as humans, and we have all these people on board, and they're making so much money off of it, some people, and this is the biggest thing that we've ever even come across. So you must be sort of an insane madman to want to address that, but it needs to be done, because otherwise we stuck with it for 1,000 years, and that's not a hyperbole. I mean, crap sticks on for a long time. So we started this effort because, well, the European Commission had they have this responsibility, and they have a way of doing stuff. And traditionally, this involves asking somebody to line out the problem and look for what the solutions would be. And by sheer coincidence, the foundation that I work for, a small foundation called NLNet, which is back in the day we were the kernel of the first internet in Europe in the 80s. We ran into this call and we got involved, and we were asked to do this study, and so we did a huge effort. But the big thing about this is this is what you would normally come up with, like a problem analysis, lots of boxes that need to be ticked. And the problem is that we saw this isn't going to work. If you have all these separate topics and each of them gets a little pile of money that solves it, then if you want to fly to the moon and you have 1,000 people creating rockets, and you have 1,000 people working on fuel, and if the two people never talk or see each other's requirements because they're operating independently and have not a single unified goal, it's going to all collapse. And this is actually the ecosystem that we aimed them towards, saying this is the operational, technical, and ethical community around the internet. So the research networks, the ISP associations, the digital rights communities, the moral guardians of the internet, the open, free and open source software people, the web standards people. These are the people you should be considering as the target, not some fluffy idea of what mobile data analytics via the blockchain would be, but something that actually can run on the real internet. Now, after a long time, we came up with this beautiful one-page document called the NGI Vision. I'm sure you've read visions before. This one is particularly beautiful. But it's more because it actually gives you a clear direction of what we want to do. If we want to say that the internet should be something that everybody can benefit from and anybody can innovate on, then that gives you a lot of parameters that are different from today's internet, because today you have to work for one of these big companies in Silicon Valley if you want to change certain things, or if you want to enable people to do certain things, because, well, the system doesn't actually get all the human talent out there, and it doesn't actually follow the human values that we have. Sometimes it's just extractive or exploitive. So I encourage you to read that, ngi.eu/vision. And this is interesting. So I don't know how many people of you ever read the European Commission's websites, but saying stuff like, we want open source software, we want open hardware design, we want access to data, we want standardization, we want access to testing and operational infrastructure, and we want IPR that ensures lasting impact, meaning open, and we want reusability of results, so you don't want to fund big companies that do something internally or that patent stuff and go from there. No, you want this to be in a tech commons. And that is, of course, really, really interesting to see that language from such an important actor. Now, last year, I was here as well in the Jansson, and we gave a lightning talk together with somebody from the European Parliament, somebody from the European Commission, this was sort of a first approximation. This is when we launched the vision and sort of beta tested it in front of you. Now we fast forward and well, what have we done in a year? Now in that year, actually, a lot of stuff has shifted in the background, and it's hard to notice it when you're sitting over there, but this is really important because what we've done now is there's actually money out there that people can apply for that has the words open source, open standards, open hardware on it. I myself run the two top, the green hexagons. The other two projects are run by other organizations, but it's actually money you can ask for right now. You can go to a website, fill out one page of idea that you have, give us some context of what you're trying to do, and 8 weeks from now you could be well, we just missed the deadline because the deadline was on Friday. So now you have to wait until April 1st for this to complete. But it's actually tangibly real for opportunities for people to do stuff. So like I said, we run these two topics. April 1st is the deadline, and what we're doing is, if you're sitting in your attic and you have this wonderful idea of how to be, you want to be the next Tim Berners-Lee, and you have a great idea, and you could be, you're still alone. You don't have a mega company, and you don't have a funding scheme, and you don't have a tech support and HR behind you. So that's what we're trying to emulate. So we give, in addition to money, we'll actually help you with accessibility. So making sure that every tool that is made is also usable by people with a visual disability or other disability. We make sure that the licensing is okay, so that when your software is finished, it doesn't sort of oh, but these licenses are incompatible, or why on earth did you choose the wrong governance model? We help people with security scans, so we scan their plans, and we have real hard security people looking at it at the very beginning before you start, and at the very end when you've done stuff. And obviously, packaging is something that no ordinary person likes to, well, not to offend people that package. I package myself a lot, but it's hard work. And if you're focused on the contents of your project, then packaging is just something that takes your mind off of things. So we package everything for the whole program, for all the efforts, in exactly the same way, so that there's a simple way for everybody to look at these projects and interact with them. We make sure that there's diversity management, so people don't have an environment that is hostile to this community member or that community, because we want stuff to be inclusive. We help people with localization, with community building, we have people from the Internet Architecture Board and the Internet Engineering Steering Group to help people solve standardization issues that they may have. So all in all, all these things are aimed at supporting people that do projects. And if you look at funding schemes, historical, it's here's your money, we'll see you in 2 years, thanks, and if it fails, don't worry, we don't care. Because the traditional, it's whenever there's something that comes out of it, it's that the money has been spent in time. And obviously this is not what we're trying to reach. We're all intrinsically motivated to actually get this next generation internet, and that's why we're aimed at supporting the projects and the people behind them. So it's a very simple way of doing this. Just between half a page and 2 pages of application can do in principle. And it is a stage approach, so you don't have to be perfect. You can just shoot in a crappy idea, and if it flies through, yay. If it doesn't fly through, you get some tips on how to do it the next time, or to cut out some bits. And even during the process, we can actually amend stuff. We are making sure that people are consistent, because we found out that people are always good at seeing and solving their own problems and their own itches, but they're not really good at solving other people's itches. So traditionally with accessibility, for instance, you have a lot of people with visual impairments, or blind people, or elderly people, and then they would have a little jar of money at the side saying, well, all the projects that want to deal with these people should go there. And by the way, then the other 99.9% of the funding goes to people that don't really look at it. And for us, this is something that we do consistently. And the same with localization, with security. No security claim should be done without at least some third party looking at it. And all these other things like reproducible builds, automated testing, all these things are not a given when you're just a small project. When you're asking for 5,000 euros from somebody, and you get time to do something cool, you don't automatically get this stuff. But when people help you because they've done it before, they give you a big boost. Now there's 2 topics, privacy and trust enhancing technologies. The first one kind of speaks for itself. Everything that improves the privacy or trust of users can ask for money. So you can ask for 5,000 euros in Moonlight. You can just quit your job and focus on getting a new processor architecture out there, or fixing TLS, or solving the DNS, creating an alternative to DNS. But because we believe that this is a key topic. And the other alternative is, how do you find information on the internet if you're not going to ask some known party? If you're not going to ask a well-known search engine, or you're asking Uber or Airbnb or Booking.com, how can we reach the information? How can people in federated or in peer-to-peer networks or on the normal internet find each other? How can they discover? How can we improve discoverability so that the information that people have is actually visible and openly accessible, or closed accessible in trusted communities? We're pretty open to that. Because if we're not able to get out of the deadlock of asking the same person always, and the same persons are getting more powerful and bigger and bigger, all of a sudden our brain will, if you see the internet as a brain, then we have a large problem of routing. It's all routed through the same neurons, and those neurons are pumping up and getting bigger and bigger. And if we want technology to be more democratic, then solving search and discovery is basically it. So how does it work? You ask us for money, we give it to you every first of every even month. So again, this is not just paperwork anymore. You can actually go to nlnet.nl/PET or nlnet.nl/discovery and look for those 2 calls. We try to walk the talk. There's also these other calls that are out there. They're done by different groups. They have different ways of dealing with things. So make sure that you go to ngi.eu, and you can find the list of all the open calls there. And well, this is basically our job advertisement. You can come and work for the open internet, and you can work from home, you can work your own hours, you get paid just as well as you would with a normal company, but instead you're claiming your spot in human history. So that's it, I guess. And I still have 30 seconds. So I can still show this wonderful slide and ask one question. Is there somebody with a question? No, there isn't. It's abundantly clear. Wonderful. So in that case, thank you very much, and good luck with the next speaker.